Hey everyone, so in this demo video, I am doing this part of the exercise number 2, AWS EMR cluster. Let's do it. Okay, so to do this, you need Eclipse software on your system because I have installed it on my system and that's how I'm working with it. If you do not want to do that, you can use that Cloudera VirtualBox system because Eclipse is already installed on it. So either way, you can do it. And let's start with it. So the first thing you should do is go to the AWS and create a cluster. So I have already done that. My cluster is already running. So just to give you a short idea how to do that, anyone which you have run before, just go to create a cluster. No, go to clone and clone it. You'll get all the information already filled in here. This one you should need to take care. The class key pair, it should be in your system somewhere, and from there you need to run the commands. So that's one thing to think about. And click here, and then it will create your cluster. But I have already done this, and once you do that, your cluster will be in the starting condition and then in the running and then it will come to the waiting. So once it is in the waiting, then only you will be able to execute the MapReduce program. One thing you need to take care here is in the security group for master, you go here and go to master, inbound, edit, add a rule, SSH, do it anywhere. This is we are doing so that you can run it from your own local machine to connect with this AWS. So save it. That's it. So mine is already waiting, which means it's ready to go and you can start your own. So let's start with it. The first application. So the first thing you should do is copy the mammals file in your local path. So I have already copied that and it is in my Eclipse workspace folder. This is my folder and I have already copied it. You can start with that and then start your Eclipse. So let's start with Eclipse and follow all these execution commands. So Eclipse, create a Maven project, create a Maven project. So I am using my default location, which is Eclipse workspace. So I'm going to use it, create simple project, use default, next, group ID org.wc, artifact ID is, I think it's the name, yes, mr word count, or word count, and finish. So let me, okay, now we can see both the things here. Okay, in this you can see this pom.xml file, and you need to copy these dependency from here till this end closing HTML tag and copy inside this version. Paste it here. One thing you need to take care here is this thing, the JDK path of tools.jar file. So I'm using Mac OS, so my path will be different. I will be deleting this and putting a new one. But if you're using if you're using Windows machine, you can see if your tools.jar file is in the same path or not. If it is not, find it and replace it with that path. And if you're using a Mac OS, you can do the Google, but once I have done the Google, I found this path where my tools.jar resides, and there I am copying that path here. So this is my tools.jar file path, and then delete this path. Once you're done with that, save it. Now the dependencies are in there. What do we do next? The next thing is go to source, main Java, right click, package, and the name should be, what is the name we're giving there? Okay, org.wc, finish. Right click again and select new class. Here the name will be word count and finish. That's it. After this, what we need to do is we need to go to this path. Where is that? Version 1 of word count. And this path we have to go. I have already opened it, the version 1 of word count, and this is already selected. I'll just copy this and this. No, not. Okay, here in the Eclipse, delete this one and paste it here. That's it. Save it. And yeah, that's it. So after this, we have to create a jar file. So everything's here, everything's saved. Right click, go to export, create Java jar file, and I am giving name as mrwordCount.jar and finish. Now you can go to, if you have installed Eclipse in your system, you will find that in your folder, the default folder. So this is the jar which I have created. Okay, now we have this jar, we have the mammals.txt ready. Let's do the next step, which is going to AWS S3 and importing both of these files. So go to service, your S3 storage bucket. This is the one. So this is my bucket. You can upload here your both files, mr word count first, and then you can upload mammals.txt. That is it. You are done here for now. Let's go to the next step. Okay, so the next step is to connect with from your local machine. So for this next step, you need to take care of this. If you're using Windows, you can use PuTTY and log in there. And if you're using Mac, you can use Terminal. Okay, and how to connect with the Mac, how to connect with this EMR cluster you're running, go to this and my cluster, which is up and running, go to this SSH. So I'm copying this Mac one because I'm running on this. You can follow these commands if you're running on Windows and connect with it. So I'll be copying this, copy, and on my terminal, I need to find, okay, I need to go to Eclipse workspace. This is the default folder where all the files are. So I'll paste this here and execute. So once you have seen this EMR, which means that you have connected with the AWS cluster. Okay, now we need to do one thing. Copy, we need to copy these bucket files, these two files into Hadoop cluster. So in order to do that, let's follow the commands again. So this is a command. Copy, terminal. We can see that we are in home Hadoop. So there are three things playing here. One is your local machine where you're running Eclipse and everything else. One is the home Hadoop, which is we have right now logged in using this. We have connected with the AWS cluster. And then there's one more thing, user Hadoop, which is a place where we will be executing the MapReduce program. So there are three things. So home Hadoop is the one where we are logged in, and user Hadoop is the one where we are executing all these commands. So let's paste that. So let's change these names. So the bucket name, the one I have is 2205 bucket. You can replace it with your bucket name and the jar file name. So as you have seen, just to keep it simple, this is your jar file name, mrwordCount.jar, and this is your bucket name. So that's what we need to give it here word count dot jar. And this is our local directory where we are running this. So execute this and it is copied there. Now let's see. See, you can see it is already downloaded here. Now let's follow the next command. Okay, now you need to upload it in that HDFS system using this put command. So copy this, paste it here. User Hadoop. This is what I was telling you. So we are copying this file into user Hadoop system. So mr word count dot jar. Now it is there. Actually, this jar file is the code which has to be there. Now you can see there is a problem here. This file already exists because I have already done this exercise. So in order to remove it, I'm going to use Hadoop fs -rm user Hadoop and mr word count dot jar. It has been deleted. Also, I would like to see what else is there so that I do not face the same error again. So in order to see that, let's use ls command. Okay, so the other one is also there. I will be deleting. That's a part. There's a part 2. mr word count 2.jar. There are 2 parts of this exercise and rm. Okay, deleted. Now let's copy this one which we just created. Put command. Here is the put command, and it has copied. Okay, let's follow the executions again. As we have already done this, we won't be doing it again. Mammals.txt is already in your bucket by now, and let's execute this here. This is to execute this program. Oh, okay. Okay. So here you need to take care of a few things. You need to change as per your um, file names, whichever you have given. So this is the word count.jar is the file name. This is the class name which we created under that jar file. And file input location should be the location from where you want to read the file, which means the mammals file. Where is the mammal file? It is in the bucket. So let's give the bucket location. So to make it easy, I have already saved it somewhere. So this is my bucket location, mammals. And the other one is the one where I want to create a new file, output path. Okay, let's give a space here. Okay, so as you can see, there are two things to notice here. The first one is the S3 bucket from where it will be reading this file. So either you can copy this file as well, or you can read it directly from the S3 bucket. And another thing which I have done is that I am also creating all the outputs from this program when it will execute. I want it to create in the same bucket under this folder name. So this folder does not exist as of now, as you can see. It will create it while executing it and then create all the files and put it right there. I don't want to copy from Hadoop to S3 again and then put it in as an exercise in the canvas. So just to keep it short, I am also putting it right direct the folder. Let's execute this. Okay, should be taking some time, and you can only execute this when you are in the state of running cluster, not before that. So your cluster should be in waiting state, then only you can run this. even if you go here, because I have already done this before, just showing me the all the previous ones. But if you keep doing this, you will see here the under the application history, you will see that it is coming in the running state. It takes some time though, and it is done here. It's not updating. Okay, it takes some time. Okay, so what do we do next? We go to S3 bucket to see if it has been created, executed. See, you can see a new folder here and all these files. So you're done here for part number 1. You have created everything you wanted to do for this particular exercise. One thing you need to keep in mind, whatever you executed, just save everything in a file just as a log. And the part 1 is done here. The next thing you can, so we have done almost everything here. So because I'm creating everything directly on the S3, so I don't need to, copy from local Hadoop system to S3 again. So that part is saved. Let's go to part number 2. Here you can see it looks short, but it is the same thing. Instead of doing that word count version 1, we are doing the word count version 2. And it must be somewhere here. Yeah. So to execute the part number 2, you need to do a few things again. Go to Eclipse and either you can follow all the execution, all the commands which you have done for the one, or you can do this one, which I have done, is that copy this. This is a kind of shortcut to execute the word count version 2. Go to Eclipse and under this, create a new class. Name it as word count 2. Make sure it should be one word count 2 because the one you are copying has the same name. So that does not give you any errors. Save it and delete the old one because we have to export this. Or you can just do directly right from the beginning, a new program. So this has been deleted. This is the one and that's it. Everything else is same, POM file, everything will remain same. And right click on it, export it, jar file, next, and I would like to give it a name as 2 and finish. So now you can see you have jar file as mr word count 2. So let's do the same thing again. Go to your bucket, upload that jar file which you created just right now. We don't have to do the mammal because it is already there. And for people working on Windows, they will use PuTTY for the same thing. And people working on Mac, they can use the built-in terminal. And we have to follow the same commands all over again. So let's see what we have executed so far. So right now we are logged in as Hadoop system. So what we need to do is the first thing which we did is this. Run this again with the change in the name of the jar file, which is now 2. You can see that we are copying from the bucket in the Hadoop system, the local system. ls to see it has been copied here. Let's see what we did next. We copied it in the user Hadoop path. Let's do that again. Change it to 2. It is done. Okay, what do we do next? That's it. We need to run our program. Copy that, right click, paste, and here you need to change few things before running it. First you have to change the jar file name. It will be 2. Also this orgwc word count you can see make it as 2 because that's the class name we changed. Mammal files will remain same, and we will change the version to here so that it creates a new folder with that name. Right now it does not exist, and enter. And it will take some time to execute. I hope it does not fail. Okay, it is running properly. So the previous one has already succeeded. You can see this is the one. And yeah, let's see if it's running. It is taking some time here. Meanwhile, I would like to tell you that all these files which you are creating right here in this bucket, at the end, you will copy everything and put it in a folder in your local machine. You can just, download from here, right click and download. And then that will be the output of this exercise, along with all the executions you are executed right here. Everything will go as the output of this. So it is running, it has run successfully. Let's see if it has created a new folder or not. Yes, it has created a new folder here. And that is it. We have created a new folder. All the success and the map reduced file are in there. And let's see if we have to execute anything else. No, nothing. So that's it. Everything you've created here is as an output will go for the Canvas exercise along with all the commands you have executed right here. So that is it for this exercise. Thank you.